Oh my goodness.
Hey, welcome live from the OHIO.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
I am going to do that. My name is Chuck, and this is my beautiful, beautiful wife, Carrie, and this is...
Sharing the Word of God.
Sharing the Word of God. We are coming to you today because Silvia, a lovely, lovely Silvia, who I'm sure all of you know, she's a wonderful YouTuber. She always was coming to me saying, you guys should do a husband and wife Q&A. And so we have questions from all of you, from my subscribers. And what we'll do is when we ask the questions, we'll let you know who they're coming from, and we will also list them in the descriptions below.
So you can visit their channels.
Like she said, so you guys can visit their channels as well. So you can tell that my wife and I look the same, and it was not planned.
No.
We just sat down and she said, "Oh,
We
dear
match.
Lord, we match." And I said, "Well, that would be great because we match together so good." And she said, "No, don't say that." So Silvia is the first question, and I will do it.
Yes.
She wants to know, for Carrie, well, really it's both of us, but it says, what is the one ingredient from all that you think every couple need in order for their marriage to be successful?
Communication. Absolutely communication. You have to be able to be there and listen to your partner and take the time
There goes
to...
the cat. Sorry, go ahead. I'm not listening.
I'd say the number one thing that you need is communication. I think that it's very important in marriage. People change and people are who they are, and not everybody is the same, and you need to be able to take the time to listen to your partner and to...
Well, I think you know, and what Carrie said, it's awesome because, and my mom used to say this to me years ago when I was younger, that, you know, you change as
Yes,
people.
Exactly.
And, you know, as we grow, we're growing together. And, you know, I have had a lot of changing to do in this relationship because of my past. And she's had a lot of changing to do because she's had to put up with me and my changes. But it's all been for the good. And the greatest thing is that we both communicate no matter what. We obviously, you know, we'll have some arguments here and there and we need our distance, but we always make sure that we apologize to each other. We always make sure that we respect each other because this is the love of my life, the friend of my life, the buddy of my life, the everything of my life. And hurting her is something that I do not want to practice. And I think that if everybody would think of that person first, as we should, then things wouldn't be said that should be said. And I think that's about it. So the next question is from Cassie. What is your favorite memory you shared together? And when I first got this question from her, I thought, wow, that's an awesome question. And it is. But I don't think my camera has that much memory.
No.
Because
15 years of memories is...
Yeah,
I mean,
15 years.
Like, of so many great things happening. But I think we decided if we were to both answer the question together, our answer would be our daughter.
Yeah, it's our 14-year-old little turd.
It was not supposed to be easy for me to have children or at all. So when I got pregnant, it was
Big Daddy stepped up.
Pretty.
Well, she wasn't able to have children,
and I had
God
a
blessed us.
horrible pregnancy, and so
you guys, she had
perfect 14-year-old now.
She had every single day since we were told that she was pregnant until the day she gave birth. She was sick every single day. I mean, it was amazing. Anything before 7 p.m. at night, she couldn't eat anything, but after 7 p.m. at night, I was running all over. I mean, anywhere. She can eat burritos and eggs.
But it changed daily.
Yeah.
So.
But anything after 7 o'clock, she could eat the tire off of a car. So she was sick all day long for 8 months because Kaylee was due early.
One time.
Huh?
I got the flu the one time.
Yep. So it was a rough pregnancy, but we got an angel out of it in the end. So
they told me that I I was unhealthy, losing weight, but my daughter was perfectly healthy, so she was literally sucking the life out of me.
Yeah, she was a month early, and she was how much she weighed?
7'5".
She was almost 8 pounds a month early, so she was a healthy little girl. And as you all know from the Monday devotionals, that she is better Monday devotionals
with Kaylee.
Okay, question number 3 would be,
what is the one thing about Chuck that we don't know that you would want to share with us?
Do I have any money on you?
There's a lot of things about you that you don't know. He's very artistic. He likes to draw. He draws houses. He played college basketball at 5'7".
And was a dog.
I'm sure. He always tells me he wishes I could see him play. He has an incredible sense of humor. That's one thing about him that I absolutely love and is attracted to me. He can make me smile no matter what we're going through or whatever there is, up, down, all around. He can always make me laugh. So
yes,
that might be a little surprising for some people.
Question number 4 would be, why don't you have a relationship with your family? And that is from the YouTube channel Terahrized. And I will put her, all of her information in the description below. And I also will list a video right up here that I did do about why my relationship with my family is what it is.
Did you read the question?
But it says, why don't you have a relationship with your family? But the other part of the question was that they, had relationship issues with their family as well. And all I can say is that, we all have choices. And I have, it's been over 20 years, and I have reached out to my family. My family is a very wealthy family, and they are the type of family that says it's my way or no way. And so to make a very long story short, God gave me a new family, and he closed the door on my family. And it took me years. Literally, this was the first Christmas that I basically just let it go. And it was done several months ago, and I wrote my dad an email. God said, you need to hit that send button. And I'll be very honest with you. I was crying like a 2-year-old baby when I wrote this email to my dad, because there's like 15 emails over 20 years that I've written, and they've never responded. It's just what they do, and it's just what they are, and it's okay. I just pray for them. But the minute I sent that email, I cannot even tell you. I think I said it in an email, and I'll put it up here again. It flushed my system. It just flushed my system, and I had the greatest holiday this year because I didn't worry about them. They want nothing to do with me, and that's okay. That's their choice. I just pray for them. And so what I would tell all of you, or any of you that are having issues with their family members, is just that's their choice, and that you just leave it up to God. That's the greatest thing about having a relationship with God, is you just leave it up to him. He will handle it. And whatever he decides, go with it.
And it may not be what you want, but exactly, that might be the better thing. And what he's given us is just continued gifts and continued love that we can't even explain. So, if that gives you a little bit of that, the answer to that question, and like I said, I've left it in a video above. You guys can check that out as well. Sorry, I wasn't being rude laughing at him. One of our gifts is coming into the picture. I think. Yeah, we have a cat that wants to be on the video. It's our daughter's cat. I think it's 5. This is from Olivia Brown. She has a great YouTube channel. Olivia Brownie. I apologize. See, the better half. I will put her information in the description below. She's awesome. She's got a great channel. You can check her out. But she has 4 questions, and we'll go through them real quickly. But how did you guys meet? Did you date? How long did you guys date? And at what point did you know she's the one that you want to spend the rest of your life with? Now, I'm going to answer number 4. Yeah. I knew the moment, and this is a true story. I knew the moment that I met her. Now, that's why you start at the beginning. How did we meet? Okay. A better half. Again, better half. I used to run a Speedway gas station.
A gas station. And you don't find many hot-looking women that work at a gas station. Well, anyway, I used to drive clear across town every day just to get a Mountain Dew. But I didn't care less about the Mountain Dew. I wanted to see her. But she was seeing somebody at the time. But we had just gotten to know each other. I probably would come in probably 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. Maybe
for about 4 or 5
week.
months. Twice a week. I mean, it was the most awesome time just buying a Mountain Dew. And eventually I would just stay and I would talk to her because she was so much fun to talk to. And I'll be honest with you. I was raised in the restaurant business, and this woman right here knew every single customer. When they would come in, I would just sit on the side and watch her in amazement because she knew exactly what each person wanted. I was blown away. And I remember I walked in and like the 4th or 5th month, and I said, "Do you want to have dinner with me?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to Cleveland, but I'll be back on this certain day, and we can meet on that night." And this is a true story. We have been together, huh?
I didn't come home from Cleveland. My car broke down.
Oh yeah.
And he had, I think it was like Wednesday or Thursday, I was going to Cleveland. I went to school there, so I had friends there. And he came in to see me the day before we were supposed to go out, and I wasn't there. And so my car broke down in Cleveland, and we ended up still going out. But from the first time we went out, what was the date?
Well, we have 2 dates. Our married date is the 12th, and we went out on the 19th.
October 19th.
October 19th.
And we've been together ever since.
So the question was like how we met.
How did we date? So we dated because we dated. I mean, we.
Well, and we're going to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't practicing. I wasn't as close to God as I am today. I knew who God was, and I was just really getting to know him better, but I wasn't following the rules. I have no problem admitting that. And Carrie wasn't able, she was told that she wasn't able to have children.
Doesn't matter. We still weren't following the rules.
We weren't following the rules. No, but what I'm saying is we were not using the proper protection. And next thing you know it,
quickly,
she's pregnant, which was, I was in heaven. But, that's how this has all become to what we are today. 15 years later, the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, and God has been the steamroller of all of it. He has answered all of our prayers. He has done everything for us. And yes, we didn't do it the proper way, which, many of us haven't, but we are on that God train today, and we are never in the second car or the third car. We are in the first car. We are his soldiers. We are his followers to the T. And that's why I do the videos that I do, because I want to share that I've made mistakes, but I also want to share that 20 years ago, I was dying. And 20 years later, I mean, this is God. This is wonderful. So that's the question, or the answer to that question. Yes. So thank you. Okay, so the fourth part of that question from Olivia Brownie was, at what point did you know she was the one? Well, I knew that moment. Everybody says that, but I knew at that moment, and I'll tell you proof of that. I wrote, you can tell that story.
He wrote me a letter.
I wrote her a letter.
A couple months after we were together. Well, I don't know if we were pregnant or not yet.
No. I wrote her a letter pretty soon after.
Pretty quick. And it discussed how we were going to be together, and, Kaylee.
How much I loved her and how I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her.
And...
But she didn't know that.
I didn't open it. How long did we wait? Until we got married.
Yeah, she didn't know that.
Years.
Yeah, she didn't know that.
4 years. Yeah, we put it in a bottle, like a message in a bottle. And when we got married 4 years later, we pulled it out, and that's exactly.
That's the first time she read it, and I wrote it like a month or so after we met, and I said how deeply in love I was with her, and how I was going to spend the rest of my life with her, and how I was going to make her the happiest person in the world. And she read it after we got married. And here's something else that you guys, this wasn't a question, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. So I asked Carrie to marry me. And she said no. Yeah. No one tells me no, but she told me no. So, we just kind of did our thing. We bought a house, we were happy. She comes to me, and we're eating dinner. And she says, we're going to get married. Okay, true story. She said, we're going to get married. And this is like 3 years after... I'm cool with how everything was. She goes, we're going to get married. And I'm like, whatever. No, seriously. She goes, just hand me the checkbook. I'll handle everything. So I won't share the whole story with you. So I just handed her the checkbook. This woman put together our wedding in about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 months. So she was not joking. And so I had a ring made for her. I'm going to share this story with you guys. So I had this ring made for her, and I gave it to her the night before.
But we weren't supposed to. We were just going to use bands.
Yeah, we were just going to use bands. But I don't do that. I don't do that. I had a ring made for her.
That's what I thought we were doing. So I will just finish this.
Okay.
So I come in the kitchen, and he says, you know, I think this is within 2 days. I think is when we're going to get married, and he says, I need to talk to you. There's some things, you know, we got to take care of before we get married. And of course, women, you know. What's the first thing that pops in your head? You got to clear your chest before you get married is he's cheating on me. So he picks me up and he puts me on top of the counter and I am bawling. And
I'm thinking, I'm in trouble. It wasn't supposed to go that far.
Because I'm thinking it's something horrible. Like, how do you come to somebody and like, there's things
and she's looking at me with those eyes and I'm like, oh, man.
So, but he asked me.
So I pulled out the ring that I had made for her. A very good friend of ours worked at a jewelry store, and we put it all together. And I'm like trying to dig myself out of the hole I just put myself in. I said, honey, no. I didn't cheat on you. I said, I just wanted to, ask you to, to marry me. I was just playing a little joke. Well, that was not a good thing.
That was not a good thing. So I was very happy, but I also wanted to smash his head in.
Alrighty.
Yeah. New subject.
Okay, so this next question is from LovedHappy. Awesome girl. Please check out her channel. She is just amazing.
Her name's Kaylin.
Yeah, Kaylin. It says, my question is, how does your wife best like to be loved and served, and how do you? And it says, also, what helps you seek Jesus in your troubles? And I love that. I mean, truthfully, and I don't know how I think my dog must think I'm crazy because I'm with Jesus all day, 24/7. When I go to bed, I read the Bible. When I wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, I read the Bible for an hour and a half. I have to. He is what you charge your phone up every night. Well, the Bible charges me. I give him everything. And so, it says, also, what helps you seek Jesus in your troubles? What helps me is just prayer, the Bible. I have so many conversations. I can only imagine what my neighbors feel. I'm out there walking my dog, talking out loud to God. It's just what I do. He is my friend. He is my father. He is my confidant. He is my everything. And so any situation, good or bad, I thank him. And I ask him how I can get through this. I ask him to help me get through it. I mean, any situation. So make God your number one priority and your life will change. 20 years ago, I was in the basement of a stranger's dying, bleeding to death. 20 years afterwards, I'm sitting here talking to all of you with the most beautiful woman in the world, with the most beautiful daughter in the world, with a dog over here sleeping. I have it all because of God. So the other part of the question is my question is, how does your wife best like to be served? And we talked about that, and it's a great question. And you can take it in so many different ways, but I think I can answer that for her. And we did talk about that one. Is my job, and this is just my opinion. And I was raised with 6 sisters, so I had 7 women in my life, and so my job is to make sure that these 2 are the happiest people in the world. They're my queens. They should be treated like queens. I brush their hair. I help do breakfast. I mean, for the first 3 or 4 years of our daughter's life, I never missed a doctor's appointment. I mean, I was running a company so I could do what I wanted to do, but I wanted to be there for her. I wanted her to see the best example of what a man, not a boy or whatever, a man should be and will be to her, because that's what she will expect. Same with my wife. I wanted my wife to someday stand and say that I'm so safe with him. I know that no matter what, that I am loved.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I got from that question. And
it's a hard question to answer, I think.
But it's a beautiful question.
It is, but I'll be honest, when I read it the first time, like, that's a little personal, I
mean, we could share that in another video.
Go there. But it's the little things. I think on both ends of it, this is supposed to be your best friend. You're supposed to be married to your best friend. You're supposed to be the, when you don't have anybody else. And when, that's supposed to be your end and your beginning game. So I just think the little things are important. They do matter, even if they get ignored a little bit in the beginning, or you feel someone's not paying attention. Just keep doing it, because it is noticed and it is appreciated. And
I mean, and I even went overboard. There are times where, you know, my better half, I mean, I always tell people she's 14 years younger than me, but she's 14 years more mature than me. I mean, my first 4 or 5 years that I didn't miss an appointment, she finally had to pull me aside. She might have pushed me aside and said, "Hey, you can't come to the doctor's appointments anymore." And I'm like, "Why not?" Well,
because
I
is a baby in front of her dad, and mom's more.
I was intimidating the doctors, and I you know, wasn't trying to be a bully or anything, but that's my little girl. And they would come in with 3 or 4 shots, and I would just tell the doctor politely, before he'd come into the room, I'd say, "Listen, these 4 shots you're about to give better be the best 4 shots you've ever given a kid." And
which is great.
But it wasn't good. It wasn't
good.
It's
intimidating.
And that's just the way that I was. I'm very protective. So back to a couple of the questions before, you learn from the better half, and I listened. And also with God telling me, I mean, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I've got this year with her, God with this year, I've got the greatest advice coming both ways, but you have to be willing to listen. Okay.
Video.
So this next question comes from Matt and Est. Awesome people. Check them out. Again, I'll leave their channel in the descriptions. They are just awesome people. Said, how did you guys meet, which you guys already know, and could you share any marriage tips for newly married couples? I'm going to leave that to her.
Communicate. Have fun. And don't let people's expectations or supposed milestones frame how you do you. Nobody's in your relationship besides the two of you. And it's, you know, all the other in the end is not going to be what matters. You got to respect each other and listen to each other and have fun together. And don't lose, when you have kids, you can lose that connection because there's so much other things going around in the world. So as a newlywed couple, I would say, take your time, enjoy. There's no rush to have a family. Yeah. There's no rush to, like I said, milestones. I'm sure parents are bugging you for grandbabies, but do it on your time.
Yeah, your way. Time. I mean, we still hold hands together. We still go out.
Put the phone down at dinner.
Exactly. I mean, we go out once a week. We go out to dinner together or lunch together, and I have my phone out.
Whether it's McDonald's or a
it doesn't matter.
House.
Yeah. I mean, I put my phone on the table because if Kaylee needs to get a hold of us, but otherwise it's just us. And I got to be honest with you.
That time.
We have so much fun together. We actually comment on other tables because they're at their phones or they're just like
it's sad.
Looking around. They don't talk. We want to go sit with them and say,
"What's up, guys?
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, can we help you get this conversation started?" I mean, 15 years. I have never slept on the couch for 15 years.
I always tell them, I don't ever want to be that old couple. Not even if they're on the phone, but I don't want to be that old couple that sit there and don't say anything to each other.
Right.
How not fun is that?
And we just have a ball at that. And like I said, I haven't slept on the couch in 15 years because we do get along and we do say we're sorry. And so, you know, we think our answer to that is communication, but it's respecting each other. Get to know each other. You know each other, but do you really know the eternal, wife, the eternal husband? Really get to know that person and make sacrifices. I mean, love the things that she loves.
Even if you don't love it,
exactly.
Take the time to still
be
interested in what the other person, and don't, if you got to do something, something you don't enjoy, you can still make the best of it and have fun of it because then they'll do something that maybe they don't enjoy.
Exactly.
Exactly. Communication and compromise.
So that's it. Again, we want to thank you. This is Sharing the Word of God, and we will see you next time.